was born in Gary, Indiana. A veteran of the U.S. Army, ministry leader, sales consultant, motivational speaker, and father of 2 daughters. As an inspirational and motivational speaker, Greg believes your future can be bright. And you have to look at it as will be. Through his life's experiences, he would like to influence people in a positive way, resulting in them living better, more successful lives. Over the past 14 years, Greg has been successful in sales, management, sales training, and sales, shipping millions of dollars of furniture for top furniture companies. Through hard work, strategies, overcoming adversity, and inspiration, Greg will show you how your future can be bright. And Mr. Greg Goodman.
So I kind of figured how this was going to go. I knew Jeff was going to come up and do what Jeff does with his amazing story. And I didn't know Jamie's story. And then to come after Jamie with his amazing story. And what you guys will find out is that our stories, they align. Our stories align. I've been talking about that all evening, that like-minded people kind of flock together, be it good or bad. So that's kind of what this is all about. You know, we care about people. We've been through some things, and we feel that if we share our stories, it can help somebody else. And I think that's important. When I look at Jeff and I hear his story, I never would have known the details if he didn't share it. Jeff also wrote a book. I don't think he mentioned that. Jeff got a book too. And Jamie's story. Jamie shared just a little bit of her story with us that she didn't share here, and half of the people sitting at our table did not know. And again, just amazing to look at her and to hear and understand just briefly what she went through. It's a lot. It's a lot. I can stand here and talk about my story. I could talk about my drug addiction, just like Jamie. I can talk about my gambling addiction. I can talk about being homeless. I can talk about losing my son. I decided to write a book to do all that. We'll talk about that at the end here, but that's why I decided to share that story. So I decided, because I knew all these great speakers, I didn't know where I was in the order because it was more of us, so I didn't know where I was going to come out today. So I decided to go a different direction. I had met a woman in 1983. I met this lady, very nice lady, right? Always upbeat, always motivating me, always. She was a cheerleader for me. She was my #1 cheerleader. Fast forward some years, she found out that she had diabetes, and then she had to have both of her legs amputated. So now she's about 88 years old. She's had 5 surgeries. She's had open heart surgery. And every time I go to see her, this is how it goes. This is the truth. I got to share this because when we talk about adversity, this woman, she was also my best friend, this lady. So I go to see her, and I go in. Hey, she's in the bed, of course, because she can't walk. She's in the bed. I say, hey, how's it going? She says, I'm blessed. I said, okay. I'm thinking, how can you still say that you're blessed and you can't move around like everybody else, right? She can't do that. She can barely even feed herself at this point because she's getting sick. Her health is steady deteriorating. So she says she's blessed. And I sit down in the chair. She says, no, sit on the bed. So why do you sit on the bed? So I go sit on the bed next to her. And so I'm always telling her, I mean, through the whole journey of everything I've done over the last 30 years, she's been there. And so she always asks me what I got going on. Hey, I'm gonna write this book and I'm doing this speaking thing, da da da. So she says, well, you remember who Mike Tyson is? And I'm thinking, why is she talking about Mike Tyson? Like, because she likes boxing. So she's talking about Mike Tyson. She said, I seen him knock a lot of people out. I seen him knock a lot of people down, she said. She said, now some of them guys didn't get back up right away. And then some of them did. And then some of them went on to fight some more. Some of them didn't fight anymore. And then she said, the one guy, I don't remember if Mike Tyson had beat Buster Douglas before, but this one particular day, Buster Douglas did beat Mike Tyson. So if he did beat him, this is her talking to me, if Tyson did beat him and he came back and beat him, then when he knocked him down, he got back up. He got back up from that. And so when you look at my book and when you listen to the stories that you're hearing from everybody, that's what it's about. It's about getting back up when you get knocked down. Now, I personally wouldn't want to be in a ring with Tyson, but then again, I'm thinking, if I can get in the ring with him for about 20 seconds and get about 3 million, that'd be all right, right? So that was always my thought about it. But it was interesting how she kind of used that analogy because she thought that I would get it. And I did get it. I did get it. You know, that life sometimes is going to knock you down. Of course, I think everybody in here knows who Les Brown is. And of course, one of his favorite sayings is, if life knock you down,
On your back.
try to land on your back.
Look up,
get up.
You can get up.
Get up. So I always think about that story. And this lady happens to be my oldest daughter's grandmother. And she since passed away this year. Broke my heart. She passed away this year.
Sorry for your loss.
Thank you so much, Jeff. But this woman, I'll tell you, as much as she's been through, and every single time I went to see her, she always tell me how blessed she is. And I just thought that was amazing, and I just really wanted to share that to kind of set the tone for what I wanted to do, because again, I could talk about myself. And it's really a mindset. 90%, life is 10% of what happens to you, and 90% of how you react to it. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do when something happens? Are you gonna complain about it? I don't like being around people that complain. I don't. I may catch myself complaining here and there, then I try to change it up a little bit. I try to find something good in everything, you know, because that's just how life is. We're gonna have adversities in our lives. We're gonna have it. We're gonna have it. Of course, it's raining today. It's raining today. We know, I think I looked at mine. Wednesday. I think next Wednesday, the sun will be shining again. You know, yesterday was sun was shining. It's raining today. But that's how our life is. Some days it's gonna rain. Some days the sun is gonna shine. But that's just what it is. It's how you deal with it when you're going through what you're going through. When I lost my son, that was it was a rough time. It was a rough time. And I didn't know what to do. I was 36 years old at the time. But I had to deal with it because it happened, right? And I couldn't take it back, you know, so I had to deal with it, you know, and we found a way to deal with it because you just live. You continue to live, and that's what we have to do. So next month, it'll be 25 years that my son passed away. And I'm still here doing what I do, and I think that everything that I do, I try to think about my son. I try to think about, you know, how would he look at his dad? I hear Jamie saying that, you know, how people look at you, people watching you. Well, he's not here, but I still think about what he would think about his dad. I have my daughters. I think, I like to think that they would be proud of their dad. You know, nobody in our family wrote a book, so I got one up on everybody, right? No, but seriously, that was an accomplishment. And I just hope that when people see that, even when I look at it, knowing the journey that it took to get to it, Jamie talked about the journey a lot. Just knowing the journey that it took to get to that point, you know, to really put my life story in a book for other people to read and judge and criticize.
Yeah.
But it wasn't about that. It's a bigger picture. It's about something that's more important. If one person read it and they stop gambling or they stop doing drugs or or they are dealing with something and they just don't know what else to do, and they find a way because they read my book. That's what it's about. Failure is not an option. Failure is not an option. I don't think we fail. I really don't think we fail. I just think we learn, right? I heard somebody say failing their way to success. Michael Jordan, people always talk about how many championships he won. Has anybody ever talked about the 9,000 shots that he missed?
Right.
Yep.
Nobody talk about that. They just talk about the championships, right? Tiger Woods. So
Yeah.
I watch golf just a little bit. And so Tiger Woods, of course, we all know all the things that he done as far as the golf goes. And then something different happened for him in his life. He was in the news for some other things, and then his marriage ended. Then he was having some surgeries. Then he wasn't number one in the world anymore. So this year, I watched Tiger Woods win the Masters. How does he do that? How does he do that?
The comeback king.
This is a man who, I would guess, he put his pants on the same way I do, one leg at a time, right? I think that through all of what he was dealing with, at the end of it, they showed his son, and he was embracing his son at the end of that. And again, you can call him a comeback kid, but I think that the reason that I'm using these two guys is because they are no different from us. One of them has a gift in basketball, one of them has a gift in golf. You got a gift in what you have. We all have it. Because what I believe, why would God just give certain people gifts
Exactly.
and not others? These people just figured out what their gift was, and they kind of honed in on that, you know? So that's why I say failure really, for me, failure is not an option, you know? And if you believe that, once you lose hope, then I think that your life is gonna take a different direction for you. Not saying that you cannot regain it, because you can, because I did the same thing, you know? But hope is very important. If you don't hope for something better for yourself, then what are you doing every single day? Jamie talked about looking in the mirror and he saw his character. He saw his character. And that was important to him. And it's important to me. The reason why I bring that up, I always talk about character. What are you gonna do also when people are not looking?
Yeah.
It's your character. It's your character. Life experiences, we all have them. We all been through what we've been through, or we going through what we're going through. And if you're not, I heard somebody say once before, they said, if you're not going through something right now, either you're coming out of it or you're on your way into it.
Right.
That's just life.
Yes.
That's just life. And how are you gonna deal with it? How are you gonna deal with the bumps in the road? How are you gonna deal with the forks in the road? I had to make a few decisions myself. Am I gonna go left? Am I gonna go right? What am I gonna do? Whatever I'm gonna do, I gotta make a decision. I gotta stand by that decision. We gotta make a decision. That's one of the most important things that we do every single day. When I woke up this morning, I made a decision to go to work today. I made a decision. And I'm just amazed by my story and Jamie's story. I made a decision one day when I woke up that I wasn't gonna do drugs anymore, and didn't have any counseling or anything like that, or any rehab or anything like that. I just made a decision. I felt like my life wasn't what I planned my life to be. I never met Jamie before. I never knew what his story was. But again, like-minded people, somehow or another along the way, we will come together somehow on this day and time. That's just what this is today. How many people know some people that probably should be here and they're not?
Yes.
And they're not. Some people paid to come and the rain stopped them. So, talk about character. Now again, I won't talk about anybody, but when you're talking about your character, or let's say your ambition or your drive, if the rain is gonna stop you from getting to an event that you paid for, then that's probably how you live in your life anyway.
You better preach.
So as soon as anything gets hard, you're gonna run the other direction.
Yes.
That's what I believe. That's just, you know, me. Man, I can't get off this character, man. That is so important. Character is so important. It really is. I watched, changing gears a little bit. I like to watch America's Got Talent. I like those shows. I like watching those shows where people they giving it all they got. They putting it all in right now. Here we go. They don't care. I like watching Shark Tank. It's another show I like to watch because people are throwing it all in. They just here it is, and they willing to accept anything. I was watching America's Got Talent, and there was a young man, and his mom brought him out, and he had a cane that was red on the bottom, so I knew that he was blind, right? I didn't know that he was autistic. I don't know if you guys saw this show, but he came out there, so we don't know what he's gonna do. But there was a piano out there, and he went and sat down. And when he started singing and playing at the same time, I can imagine what his journey has been. I can only imagine. But for him to go out there and do what he did, and of course he got the golden buzzer for that particular show. I'm not gonna say I cried because maybe something was just in my eye. I'm not gonna say I cried. But when I see something like that, when I see what people can do, what can I complain about? What can I complain about? When I hear Jeff's story, but Jeff to say for him running 13 steps is a big deal. What can I complain about?
Yeah.
What can I complain about? Now I've heard Jeff's story now twice. I heard Jeff's story twice. And it's amazing. Jeff has done something that I haven't done twice. Again, Jeff has been on the stage with Les Brown twice, right? Now I talked to him on the phone once for about 2 seconds. That was about it. He had to go, he was getting a manicure, but Jeff has been on the stage with him twice. I don't think Jeff thought he'd be doing that 10, 15 years ago. But he did it. So when I look at people like Jeff, when I watch people like any of those contestants on America's Got Talent, the ones that really have talent, it just makes me want to do more. It makes me want to do more. It makes me believe I can do more. It makes me want to write a book, right? It makes me want to write a book. And not only talk about it, but write a book. I talked about the fork in the road. We'll have those. We'll have those. But again, I have to stress that when you do go left or go right, just stick with your decision. Whatever it is. Again, you're not going to lose, you're going to learn. Whatever your decision is, stand by your decision. Don't let anybody influence your decision. For whatever you want to do, stand by your decision. No risk, no reward. No risk, no reward. The bigger the risk, the bigger the reward. You guys heard that one before. I took some risks. I took some risks that I found myself on the bad end of the deal, and I took some risks that caused me to, again, write a book. A lot of times we like to say we can't do it. We don't have the money to do it. Or are we just afraid? In my book, you'll hear me talking about fear. Forget everything and run. It's easy. It's easy to forget everything and run. Just throw in the towel and say, I'm done. I'll wake up and tomorrow will be another day and we'll try something different. I heard some other people say they've tried a few different things. But I think, and I agree with Jamie when she say, if I try that one thing may open up the doors for the other things. I want to mention about open and closed doors. How do you know when a door is closing? How do you know? Your job don't fire you. You don't quit. How do you know it's time for you to move on to something else? If you're not happy. If you're hitting your snooze button every single day. Anybody hit their snooze button today? If it's time to go to work and you're going to hit the snooze button. Or are you happy to get up and go to work? Because it's not like work anymore. It's just what you do. When you did that conference, Jamie, it's what you do. That's what you do now. You have to do that every year. You can't hit the snooze button on that. You have to do that every single year. Jeff is the international, I like when you say that too. Jeff is the international make every second count speaker. That's just what he does. That's who he is now. Whatever we're doing now, that's who we are. That's what we do. And it's something that's inside of us. Again, I could have been a fireman, maybe. I thought I was going to be a policeman, maybe. But that didn't happen for me. That wasn't how my story ended, or that's not how my story is to this point. So whatever it is that's inside of you, something always is going to be inside of you telling you got that little voice in your ear. There's always a voice that's telling you something. You're the one that choose not to listen to it.
That's right.
That's your decision. So before I go, this conference was about adversity. That's what it was about. It was about adversity. So a few things we need to do. At first, we need to admit. We need to admit whatever we did to have us in the situation where we are. Whatever part we played in it, whatever's going on in your life, you have to admit that. You have to understand that you did that. You did that. It's your fault why you are where you are. Be it where you want to be or not where you want to be. You have to admit that. You have to admit that to yourself. When Jeff look in the mirror and he sees his character, you have to admit that to yourself. This is where you are. You have a part to play in this, right? Don't give up. Don't give up. It's so easy. It's easy to give up. It's easy. It would have been easy for me to stay at my mom's house, 36 years old, with 2 kids. It would have been easy for me to do that in a 2-bedroom apartment where she was. It would have been easy. It would have been easy for me to say, well, I've been through what I've been through, and I think that's enough. I can't take no more. I'm good. It would have been easy. But I have a don't give up mentality, and I think everybody in this room have it, or else we probably wouldn't be here trying to get something else from somebody else, to hear something from somebody that may just spark something in you. So don't give up. The vision, again, that's that dream that you had when you was maybe younger. You know, you had a vision for something for your life. You had a vision of what your life can be. When I was living the way I was living, the change for me was, again, that wasn't the vision that I had for myself. That wasn't the vision for my life. Being out on the street, sleeping in my car, just lost my job. That wasn't how my life was supposed to go. And I understand it when I see some people out and they're homeless. I get it. Maybe they went left in that fork in the road. They should have went right. Maybe something happened in their life and they couldn't bounce back from it. I don't know. But I'm sure that wasn't their vision for their life. Maybe they didn't have some help. Maybe they needed a little push. Maybe when they went to get some help, someone turned their back. I don't know. But we all have a vision. We all have something in us to do, or something that tells us, hey, this is not what I want to be doing. I know what I want to do. Maybe I don't know how to do it or how to start, but I need to. We all have a vision of what our life should be. And it's just up to us to make a decision to act on that vision. Your energy. You have to put all of your energy into whatever it is that you're trying to do. Whatever it is you want to accomplish, you have to put the energy into it. When I was out doing things that put me in a situation where I was homeless and gambling and doing drugs, I put a lot of energy into that. Trust me. I put a lot of energy and effort into budgeting my money so I can still make sure I can go and gamble, right? You'll see that in the book. Now I'm just taking that energy and putting it in a positive place. That's all you have to do. Change where you put your energy, right? The S, you have to stay your course. Whatever it is, you have to stay your course. Your life is not going to be all roses always, but you have to stay your course. Your life depends on it. Other people, your daughter's life depend on it. Your family's lives may depend on you as well. You have to stay the course. You have to do it. You have to do that's one of those affirmations, one of the things that you can say every single day. I have to stay the course. Whatever your course is, I have to stay. I have to. Me, I'm a self-motivated person. I don't need to really get a push, right? Because I've been through enough to know that I don't want to be over here. And if I want to be over here, this is what I need to do, right? If I don't want to eat at this restaurant, I want to eat at this restaurant, then I know I need to probably get up and go to work, right? Change your impossible to I'm possible. I picked that up from somebody. Change your impossible to I'm possible. I can do anything, right? I can do anything that I put my mind to. It was easy for me to go out and to lose thousands of dollars when I could have been investing that money into something that was more positive. That was easy for me to do that. So it should be easy for me to go out and do something that's positive, right? Change your impossible to I'm possible. And I think we heard somebody was saying something along those lines earlier today. So again, we're talking about adversity. So we at the T. Somebody said this earlier too. You gotta talk to yourself. Your self-talk. You have to be careful about what you're allowing to come in. Your self-talk. What are you telling yourself? What are you telling yourself? I am good. I am great. I can do it. Nothing can stop me. You have to do that for yourself. Because what happens when no one is around? If you always have that all the time, somebody telling you how great you are, how good you are, what happens when they're gone? Are you not good and great anymore? You have to tell yourself that you are good and that you're good enough. That you're good enough, right? And finally, above all other things that I've mentioned, you owe it to yourself. You owe it to yourself. I heard somebody say, we only have one life. I always say, this is not a dress rehearsal.
Yeah.
This is not a dress rehearsal, right? We don't get a second chance at the first chance. So we have to make every second count. Man, I love when I heard you say that for the first time, man. That was awesome. We have to make every second count. Why? Because we're not promised the next second. That's why. That's why. That's why whatever we do right now, we have to live our lives like it's the last. We have to do it like it's the last day that we have on earth. We have to do it. We have to do it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And we have to do it. Not maybe. Not maybe. Again, I could have went on and on about myself, about all the woes me days that I had, all the days that I prayed to God to save me and help me, and I still was going through it. But it's not about me right now. It's not about me. That's part of what got me in trouble in the beginning, just thinking about myself, right? Now it's about somebody else. All of the speakers that was up here today, and the one to come when Robert comes, it's about someone else. It's about helping somebody else. We've decided to put ourselves on the line, make ourselves vulnerable, tell our stories, tell our secrets to help somebody else. Who does that? We do. That's why we're doing it. That's why we have to do it. That's why people came from as far as they came. As far as they came to come here. And again, I know some people not in this room that should be. They should be here. They need to be here. And they'll wake up tomorrow and their life will be the same like it is today. And it's the old woe is me syndrome. They don't, it's never gonna get any better. But I'm here to tell you that it does get better if you want it to get better.
Yes.
Right? So I will end, and this is nothing. I just like, man, Les Brown. He's just great, right?
Mm-hmm.
He is one of the greatest speakers that I've ever seen, and that's actually what started me. I seen him some years ago, like 1991. I saw him speaking. I was like, man, I could do that. And again, what some people don't know, and I did mention that in our breakout session, that I used to stutter when I was a kid all the way through high school. I couldn't even get out a complete sentence. But this is what I'm supposed to be doing, so I guess this is what it is. But he always said, you have something special. You have greatness. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much for listening to me tonight.